Hello everybody, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks quick review. And today we'll have a look at the T92 Light tank. Before anybody asks why I'm doing it now, I am not a community contributor, so I don't get those tanks for rental, meaning I can't get them earlier for a preview, review, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, today in the first day of Advanced Calendar and sadly making my prediction quite wrong, Wargaming, come on, why you troll me? Yeah, it's here. It was, I think, 25 euros for a tier 8 light tank. In my opinion, well, okay, it's decent enough. It's the second tier 8 light tank, which is premium in the game. The first one being the M4190 GF, and now we have the T92 Light tank. And well, personally, I played 15 battles with this tank to get a feeling of this tank, knowing what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, and what are the big flaws of that tank. 73% win chance and 1093 base experience. So you know that I didn't just play the tank, I'm going to say it's atrocious or just not good. But yeah, to the stats and the pros and cons of this tank. It has a 400 meters of base view range, which is, in my opinion, something which tends to be scarred or sacred on tier 8 light tanks. For example, the Battalion 12 ton has not at all as much view range as it should have, in my opinion. It has an amazing power to weight ratio and it's quite fast. It's 60 kilometers fast and, well, with a 44.71 HP to ton ratio, it can even climb quite easily, and going up hills is not a problem at all. It has quite a good camouflage value. It has a better camouflage value than the M4190 GF. It is super small, super slim, and well, even though I'm not showing how good the camouflage is right here in that game as well, I got spotted constantly by the T26 E1 pilot, a T25 pilot 1. It's also probably when he has enough view range, like 445 meters with optics plus consumables or something like that, he will be able to spot me. But as you can see, we have till 430 meters, we are more or less not being able to get spotted by him, even though we are shooting. 430 meters was there the little bit of, our safeguard. It has great stabilization. I am playing this tank right now with tank gun rammer, optics, and vertical stabilizer. Because I used to play it with the vents, but I had to say the stabilization is already so good. I want to enhance it even more, and that is a lot of fun to play with. Like, you can hit reliably shots when you are wiggling around. It also makes this tank quite hard to aim, but it also makes this tank quite hard to hit. It has an amazing gun depression of 10 degrees almost all over the place, and well, here I screwed over the climb, but only here it's not 10 degrees. Here it's something like from 6 to 8 degrees. So yeah, you need to be careful when you are playing over the left side. It's the same thing like with the RagingRaptor, where you have on the sides more gun depression than on the front, and it is super small. To the cons of that vehicle, the penetration is the biggest flaw in my opinion. It's APCR shells. It's 175 millimeters of average penetration, 210 with heat. It simply feels lackluster, especially if you compare it with something like the M4190 GF. And I know it's kind of bad because the M4190 GF was part of the tanks which did not got really balanced during, well, when they got introduced into the game again. So it's kind of a hard comparison because the M4190 GF is a really, really strong tank. But still, you somehow have to compare this tank, and it is the same gun as the M41 Bulldog. And I also have to say, if you are playing the M41 Bulldog with the standard shooter gun, you will feel familiar or at home with this vehicle, as it offers the exactly same parameters. The damage per shot is though quite atrocious. It's 150, which doesn't really hurt. And to that comes, as already mentioned, a decent DPM. It's not something amazing and it's not something particularly bad, but simply 150 shots per damage per shot is kind of, it feels lackluster. You're more like a pesky bee than anything else. 150 damage, most heavies don't really care about that, which does have its pros, because, well, if enemies think they don't really need to annoy you, they don't really take you serious, you can do stuff like this. And here we have a great position to show off the gun depression and kind of the wiggling around. I was not sure if the Emil 1 was reloading or not, but it sooner or later struck me that he's reloading. This is at that point where just like, you know what, screw that, I'm not going to drive around anymore, and I'm simply going to pound my DPM. It has, as already mentioned, only 1000 hit points, and I know it's standard, but it still feels like not a lot at all. Here we go, we just put in the auto aim and keep on moving, and we shoot on the move, and well, we hit our shots. And something which is amazingly annoying is the engine damage. I'm going to quickly stop the game right here. We also reloaded some HE shells to do some more damage onto the Hummel. Like, something which really makes me angry or aggravated me in this tank is if you get hit here or here, it's 50% of the time an engine hit. And it's not an engine hit which like is a critical, it's simply a destroyed engine. And I died 3 times in those 15 games because my engine simply stopped working. Because of a 3090 shooting me twice into the front, and immediately your engine goes down. And yeah, on Lake Will, when you try to contest the middle, this is actually ridiculously bad. Again, he hits you into the front, you repair your engine, and you immediately get hit again. That feels really darn meh. Otherwise, as already mentioned, the one spot which is worse when it comes to gunnery, and it has a huge turret. And can we please? I'm sorry, dang it. Get this away. And this is what I mean. This tank has this and this spot which are still part of the damage model. So as you can see, even here we lost our gunner. It's kind of annoying. You really need to keep that in mind. It's not something like it's only a gun which is part of the damage model. Anyway, this tank loses a lot of, or sadly a lot of modules / crew members because it is so small. Anyway, what did that game give us? And this is what we got from that game. We sadly only got as master class, second, a high caliber medal, and 2953 damage. 872 spot, 21 shots, 28 shots, 21 hits, 75% hit ratio. As you can see, we spotted 2 vehicles. We made spotting damage to 4 of them. And we did damage to a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 vehicles, which is actually a pretty decent number. Anyway, we were top tier in that game, so we certainly had a good time in this game. And I also think if you are top tier with this vehicle, it will excel amazingly, because if you know how to play with view range, you will have an amazing time with a light tank. Those light tanks just simply love to work well with view range. And I sometimes also feel that the T92 is something like an ELC on tier 8, just it doesn't have that punch an ELC has. Or especially the old ELC. The old ELC with its 240 damage, 170mm of AP penetration on the tier 5 Scout was simply amazing. We did the most amount of damage in our team with 2953 against 2037 and 1434. And as you can see, we certainly showed dominance as a tier 8 tank. Our tier 8 tanks did the most damage in total. And yeah, in the enemy team, not really the same thing. We got lucky that the Emil, one of them, was really not the best player if you think about it. But yes, as already said, 28 shots, 21 hits, and 20 penetrations. And many of those missed shots came as I was shooting onto the Emil 1. And this is also something, the gun is accurate enough. 0.36, it's the same or as accurate as the M41 90GF. So yeah, overall I think the gun is decent enough. The penetration just sucks, and it feels like it could need a little DPM buff. A little DPM buff would certainly not hurt that vehicle. Otherwise, in total, I think it's a decent tank. It's a decent tier or higher tiered premium tank trainer for the American line, for light tanks especially, obviously. And I have to say, it is fun to play. It is small. It has its gun, it has its pros and cons, as already said, with the engine, but it's fast, it's nimble. You can do the side scrape tactic where you are simply getting to the side of an enemy, like a Type 4 heavy, maybe even an AMX M449. It should also work. You can just simply go to their side and see what you can do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I recommend the tank, but it's not a must buy like the Defender. And as always, thanks for watching and good luck on the battlefield. Bye bye.